Now going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Jaguar with a new logo as they go all in on EVs. Which, yeah, it's so sad how far they've declined. Granted, they haven't been really reliable since the inception of the company, but they used to be works of art and beauty. So before we look at the modern eyesore, the new logo, and their new marketing campaign, let's look at what was perhaps one of the most iconic vehicles of all time, or at least top 10 or 20, the Jaguar E-Type. I mean, the curves on this are beautiful to say the least. And if you're not watching a Rumble right now or YouTube, you're definitely missing out. We're going to look at what was great. And here you can see the Jaguar E-Type and the wire rims and the giant clamshell of a hood. I mean, just none of these pictures. I don't know if it's even possible to have a bad picture of the E-Type, which I guess which was 1961 to 75. Looks like the manufacture date. Now, granted, I can't but think the company's been downhill mostly since then, but I mean, that original couple years, here's the 1964 Jaguar E-Type on picture there. I mean, they just look amazing. Now, granted, again, even back then, they weren't very reliable. And, yeah, now they're going to go all in on EVs, which, yeah, I can't but think it's going to be even more unreliable if that was even possible. Now, this comes to us thanks to The Verge, where they say, quote, Jaguar is now Jaguar. So it's spelled capital J, lowercase a, capital G, capital U, lowercase a, lowercase r. They say that Jaguar's EV reset starts with the perplexing rebrand, aka crap. Now, this is by Umar Shakir, who's a writer at, again, The Verge. And yeah, I should do a visual warning. It's debatably more unattractive than The View, which is saying something. And here, almost looks like a bastardized Nokia logo or like a tech company logo. It's, yeah. We've got the tech font that says Jaguar, which looks simplistic and rudimentary to say the least. Now they say, quote, British automaker Jaguar, or should I say British, is changing its branding for a new era as it prepares for a full plan to go all electric for its lineup, with first model saved for 2026. The brand is so inept and terrible at sales and making a product that they took a year off from manufacturing. You don't do that in the auto world unless you're doing like a complete even if you're doing a retooling, you keep some plants open to make stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I don't know a single automotive company that just shut everything down, except for wartime production and changing to that, except Jaguar. That's how little the demand is for the product. They've got dealerships piling up with Jaguars. Now, they say, quote, the automaker has revealed a new logo that changes its font, spacing out the letters, and uses a mix of upper and lowercase letters. Now, this is Jaguar Land Rover Chief Executive Officer Jerry McGovern says, quote, this is a reimagination that recaptures the essence of Jaguar, returning it to the values it once made it so loved, but making it relevant for a contemporary audience. Uh-huh. Right. And here's another thing they're doing. It looks like having, what is it, non-binary people as their new spokesperson. Interestingly enough, they have the non-binary looking people in bright neon clothing, and the font on the screen says copy nothing when they just look like a copy paste of every non-binary person you've ever seen. So kind of ironic. They say this is under the caption of this picture is the new look and feel of Jaguar image from Jaguar. Interestingly enough, of course, they do not even have the logo on this image of these bizarre looking models. Now, they continue saying, quote, Jaguar is making a contemporary look quite literally as it props its transformation brand that, quote, divined exuberant modernization against pop era inspired advertising features. Very serious or sad models wearing cover clothing. Yeah. Here you can see even more bastardization. So here you can see the Jaguar letters. And then you can see, looks like that's going to be a small image on the trunk. So they're going to take the original logo, minimize it to nothing, basically. And it looks even more simplistic. Basically, they took an Atari 2600 and said, hey, make a Jaguar logo, Atari. That's kind of how the new, again, this is a small image. I think that's only going to be on the hood or something. Or not a hood, on the engine itself. Basically minimizing the whole, the Jaguar's gone. The actual animal's gone. They say Jaguar is also leaning heavily on a quote from the company's founder. There's another picture of it. It's almost as bad as the HP Inc. logo, which looks so bad you would only know it if you know it. Like, if you just see the logo by itself, it's unrecognizable. You also have a non-binary looking gal or guy in dress holding a yellow sledgehammer, which, given the lack of muscle tone, I'm surprised they can hold it, perhaps as a foam prop. And the text on the screen says breaking molds. Yeah. And it also says create exuberant. You have the non-binary weird looking people. It looks like they're on some type of foreign planet. Now, perhaps their sales will go up by 500% in San Francisco, but on average, I don't see how this is a successful marketing campaign. Now, going back to the article, they say they're leaning heavily into a quote from the founder, Sir William Lyons, for the rebranding, saying, quote, a Jaguar should... Are they serious? They say they're leaning into this quote. Now, the quote is, a Jaguar should be a copy of nothing. This looks like every weird-ass makeup commercial you've seen or fashion commercial you've seen for the past decade maybe. And saying break molds and being different, that's like, what is it, 10 or 20 years ago? Apple was saying that? Yeah. The company's ethos, they say that, quote, now the company's ethos will go by copy nothing, and it's printing other marketing lines like delete ordinary and live vividly. Yeah. And you're making EVs, so it's going to be a copy paste of most Chinese technology. Yeah. Now they say this also creates exuberant. They also quote, create exuberant, which might mean upcoming cars like the 2026 Jaguar Super GT, super EV, super boring for the most part. Yeah. I can't but wonder. Let's see here. Most of the comments are just just roasting them. Yeah. A lot of people saying it looked like a bastardized fashion show. It looks like the Paris Olympics and all those flops. So they're basically copying Apple from 10 to 20 years ago and going to go all in on EVs, which, yeah, there's a reason most luxury brands are pedaling back from that. It's not really selling that well. The adoption rate is dramatically decreasing, not just in the US, but globally, in terms of consumer demand for EVs. And I mean, Jaguar is all about luxury and being unique, and that they're just seem to be copying it. And of course, they don't even show us a car. So and again, this company's been in trouble for quite a while. I mean, they already have terrible reliability, so it's, that's always been one of the Achilles heels of the company as well. But yeah, I can't but think with this type of, they say it's unique, but they try to be so different, they just ended up being the same as every company in California, I would argue. It's just a terrible rebranding, goes against the founder of the company. I mean, literally just doing copy paste of what we've seen before, and it's not sticking out in a good way. It's not going back to the roots of the company at all, which, and again, I guarantee it, the minute that one of these vehicles come out, you're going to say, oh, that looks oddly reminiscent of something from BYD or one of the Chinese manufacturers, or something that the parent company also owns a venture in. But let me know in the comments if you think maybe Jaguar will make a big comeback and there'll be, so much demand for the vehicles in 2026 and beyond. But let's just say I'm skeptical to say the least. So this terrible rebranding and, quite frankly, just a boring copy paste of old marketing campaigns of competition in other businesses. Actually, Jaguar, you are certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.